Welcome to another episode of Pistons of Fury. In this episode, we continue the body work on my 1966 Dodge Coronet station wagon. Alright, so new episode, same or similar kind of content. So what we're doing here is back in the garage, and we are back working on this quarter panel patch. Last episode I kind of got it tacked in, place where I wanted. This episode is going to be about continuing to stitch weld and then just finessing some of these curves. I need to get that curve a little bit cleaned up, and then we'll just continue welding this in place. So this episode is just going to be... I hate to do it because I feel like I probably abuse the fast forward thing a little too much, the time lapse, but it's just with this kind of stuff, it just takes time, so it takes time to do. And then as far as content, there's really nothing else going on in the garage except me just sitting here welding over and over and over. So I'm gonna have to time lapse it. I will try. My personal goal for 2018 is to do less time lapse and give you guys more like kind of jump cut stuff, so just different angles and things like that. But it's hard. I want to make progress on the car, so it's definitely hard to do that and stay focused on filming and camera angles and stuff like that. But anyway, I'm gonna get started. Probably just gonna get to welding some of this, make sure I get this this seam or this body line done the way I want, and that'll kind of be my focus for the first part of the episode. By the end of the episode, I hope to have this really actually just buttoned up, but we'll see how far I get. I think that is good for a night. Basically where I am, just gonna get close up here because it's probably kind of hard to see during all that time lapse. This is where we are. I've got most of the gaps in this seam filled. There's a few little pinholes now that I've kind of sanded that back, like right there, like right there. They'll have to come back and do a few more tacks, but you know, can't really see it in the video. Like, I guess you kind of can. The body line's looking pretty good. So, you know, it's a little bumpy, but that will come out with some more sanding. Looking at it from the front like this, it looks pretty good. So yeah, that's focus. Yeah, that's where I'm gonna leave it for tonight. I will be back in the shop tomorrow night because I really want to get this done. Because I can't have this car up on jack stands in my garage anymore. It's too big for the garage. I can't get anything done in here with this car in here. So I want to get this done, get it primed at least, and I can maybe put it back outside. I don't know. I still have more work to do on it, but we'll see. We'll get over to the next thing. Getting this done means I can get to the next thing. And that's the goal with these cars. You just have to get one thing done, move on to the next thing, keep moving on until there's nothing left to do, which, as you guys probably know, is never the case. Anyway, it's getting late. I'm gonna call it for tonight, and I'll be back tomorrow to hopefully wrap up this part of the project. Okay, so I just gave it a quick pass with the flappy wheel, or it's kind of like a sanding wheel on the grinder. It's looking pretty good. I don't have any more gaps here along the seam, so that's good. It's a little bumpy just because of the nature of it, but that will all get smoothed out with a thin coat of body filler. Also have this line here done. It looks good, feels pretty smooth, so that'll also get a light coat of filler. Bad news though, I found some more rust. Yeah, you can see that right in there. I don't know how I missed that the first time, but it's on this contour, so I've got to pull my bumper off and see what I can do to get to that. That'll actually also help me finish up this seam here in the back and get that ground clean. So I've got a little patch panel to do right there, so I've got to cut that out, make a little panel, and do that. Yeah, so the work continues, and then when I'm done with that, I need to come up here under this wheel well, patch that, and then there's a little bubble here that I also need to patch. So the rust work continues. This is, I guess, the joy of owning an older car is all the rust you have to deal with. But that's okay, it's just slow moving, so I'm gonna keep at it. All right, so that is where I'm going to call it for this episode. Yeah, so the quarter patch went pretty well, went as planned. I'm actually pretty pleased with how that's fitting and how that's going. I still need to get down there and tack up the bottom of that, so I'll show you guys how I do that in the next episode. The rust finding, that sucks, but, you know, old cars, what are you going to do? And I've actually noticed that on my tailgate, I do have some more rust too. So I think in terms of this car and where I'm going with it, I have some rust to fix on the tailgate. I need to check the other quarter panel because that's suspect now. I know I have a hole in that wheel arch as well. So it probably has taken on water, so I got to check that out. I'm just going to do it right, take my time, and make sure I get it done right. And then I know that my spare tire well in the back, the trap door of this wagon, it has some rust too. So fix all the rust in the rear. Then I need to, in doing that, I'll have to pull out the fuel tank. So I'm going to replace the fuel tank with an EFI fuel tank. So that will be another video, and then we will just work our way 18 feet forward to the front of the car. Yeah, but upcoming videos are going to be rust, and more rust. Down the rust rabbit hole we go.